14. Powerful black actors who came out and are living their truth then and now. Hollywood's glitz and glamour often hide a darker, more exclusionary reality for black queer icons who were forced to navigate a labyrinth of silence and systemic prejudice. While their talent lit up the screen, their true selves were frequently pushed into the shadows by an industry that demanded conformity for success. From the pioneers who shattered glass ceilings to the voices that redefined modern artistry, these actors have had to fight a dual battle, one for their craft and one for their right to exist authentically. Welcome to American Icon Stories. Subscribe now and drop a comment below. Do you believe these legends finally received the respect they deserve, or is Hollywood still clinging to a legacy of forced silence and forgotten identities? Wanda Sykes, 62, age now. Wanda Sykes is a comedic force of nature, a woman whose razor-sharp wit and unfiltered honesty have made her one of the most respected voices in American entertainment. Born in Portsmouth, Virginia, and possessing a discipline forged during her years working for the National Security Agency, Sykes brought a unique analytical rigor to the comedy stage. She didn't just tell jokes, she dissected the absurdities of life, race, and politics with a surgical precision that few of her peers could match. From her breakthrough as a writer on The Chris Rock Show, where she earned an Emmy, to her unforgettable appearances on Curb, Your Enthusiasm and Blackish Sykes established a career defined by longevity, brilliance, and a refusal to be anything other than authentic. However, her most revolutionary act was not a scripted punchline, but a moment of profound personal courage. In 2008, after years of navigating the entertainment industry while maintaining a guarded private life, Sykes made the decision to publicly come out as a lesbian during a rally for marriage equality in Las Vegas. At 44, she stepped out from behind the persona she had carefully cultivated and into a truth that would define her as a cultural icon. It was a pivotal moment for visibility in Hollywood, proving that a black woman in comedy could be outspoken, successful, and unapologetically queer without sacrificing her relevance or her reach. By embracing her identity, she didn't just liberate herself, she became a beacon for countless others who saw themselves reflected in her journey. Now at 62, Wanda Sykes remains at the top of her game, consistently reinventing her comedic voice while remaining a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. Her Netflix specials, such as Not Normal, have cemented her reputation as a sharp-tongued observer of the modern era, unafraid to tackle the most uncomfortable cultural conversations with laughter as her primary weapon. She is a mother, a creator, and a trailblazer, whose legacy is anchored in the belief that true comedy serves as a bridge to understanding. Whether she is voice acting for animated classics or delivering scathing social commentary, Sykes proves that the power of laughter is amplified when it is rooted in personal truth. She stands today as a revolutionary who didn't just make us laugh, she made us think, challenged our perceptions, and ultimately forced us to look at the world with a bit more clarity and courage. Colman Domingo, 57, age now. Colman Domingo is a master of transformation, an actor whose work radiates with a depth and emotional intelligence that is rarely seen in Hollywood. From his roots in Philadelphia to the prestigious stages of Broadway and the high-stakes world of prestige television and film, Domingo has built a career that refuses to be categorized. He is a rare talent who can anchor a blockbuster like Fear the Walking Dead with the same gravitas and precision that he brings to his Oscar-nominated portrayal of the civil rights icon Bayard Rustin. His work is characterized by a quiet, simmering intensity, a presence that commands the screen not through artifice, but through an absolute, unwavering commitment to the humanity of the characters he portrays. Beyond his professional accolades, Domingo is a beacon of authentic, unapologetic living, openly gay and proudly married to his husband Raul Octavio Domingo. Since 2014, he has stood as a steady, visible example of love and partnership in an industry that historically forced Black queer men to suppress their identities. He never treated his sexuality as a burden to be hidden or a gimmick to be used. Instead, he treated it as a fundamental part of his creative spirit. At 57, Coleman Domingo is at the pinnacle of his influence. He is not just an actor, he is a director, a playwright, and an activist who uses his platform to champion racial equity and LGBTQ+ representation. He has successfully navigated the narrow corridors of Hollywood's expectations, emerging on the other side as a cultural force who proves that the most successful way to exist in the spotlight is to do so with your full, authentic self firmly in view. Jeremy Pope, 33, age now. Jeremy Pope is the definition of a generational talent, a performer who effectively bridged the gap between the historic prestige of Broadway and the fast-paced evolution of Hollywood. In a move that signaled his arrival as a true powerhouse, Pope made theater history in 2019 by earning 2 Tony Award nominations in the same season, a feat that validated his status as one of the most exciting young actors in the business. Whether he is embodying the vulnerability of a young student and choir boy, or the soul of a Motown legend in Ain't Too Proud, Pope brings an electric, palpable energy to every role. He is an artist who treats every project as an opportunity to push the boundaries of what is expected consistently, proving that he is more than just a performer. He is a storyteller with a singular, resonant voice. At just 33, Pope has already achieved what many spend a lifetime striving for, but his impact goes far beyond his resume. He has stepped into the industry at a pivotal time, using his platform to demand space for stories that were once relegated to the margins. His portrayal of Archie Coleman in Hollywood and his Golden Globe-nominated turn in The Inspection showcased a fearless commitment to exploring the nuances of the Black queer experience. By consistently choosing roles that reflect his own reality as an openly gay Black man, Pope is rewriting the script of what a leading man looks like and who he can love. He is part of a bold new vanguard in Hollywood, a generation that does not ask for permission to shine, but creates its own light. Jeremy Pope is not just building a career, he is building a bridge for the next generation, proving that excellence and authenticity are not just compatible, but are in fact the keys to enduring success. Jared Carmichael, 39, age now. Jared Carmichael is a seismic force in contemporary comedy, a man who transformed the art of the stand-up special into an intimate, high-stakes confession. Born in North Carolina, Carmichael moved to Los Angeles with little more than ambition and a sharp observational eye. His sitcom, The Carmichael Show, was a rare masterpiece that invited America to grapple with incendiary topics, police brutality, infidelity, and gun violence through a lens of refreshing, unfiltered honesty. Yet his greatest breakthrough occurred in 22 with his groundbreaking HBO special, Rothaniel. In a dimly lit jazz club, he stripped away the armor of performance and openly came out as gay, delivering a raw narrative about the crushing weight of secrets and the liberation of being known. It was a masterclass in vulnerability that redefined his career and solidified his place as a cultural icon. At 39, Carmichael continues to push boundaries, challenging both his audience and his industry to move past performative niceties and embrace the uncomfortable, beautiful, and sometimes painful truth of living authentically. Daryl Stevens, 52, age now. Daryl Stevens occupies a vital place in the history of queer media, having served as a pioneering face of Black LGBTQ+ representation. long before it was fashionable in mainstream Hollywood. He became a cultural trailblazer in 2005 with the debut of Noah's Ark, the first American television series to center on the interconnected lives of black gay men. As Noah Nicholson Stevens provided an entire generation of viewers with their first authentic reflection on screen, someone who was sensitive, stylish, and deeply human. In a landscape that often reduced his identity to a one-dimensional stereotype, Stevens played the role with a warmth and sincerity that resonated globally effectively, proving that there was a hungry, underserved audience eager for narratives that validated their own existence. Now, at 52, Stevens remains a respected figure whose influence extends far beyond his acting credits. He evolved from a leading man into an insightful author and advocate, using his voice to document the complexities of identity, race, and love through works like Required Reading and Indigo Blues. His career is a testament to the power of consistency and integrity. He never compromised his truth for the sake of mass-market appeal. Even as Hollywood's standards for representation have shifted, Stevens' foundational work remains a cornerstone of the movement toward inclusivity. He serves as a reminder that the path toward progress is paved by those who dare to be the first, showing us that true influence isn't measured by the brevity of a trend, but by the lasting impact of the stories we leave behind. Brandon Kyle Goodman, 37, age now. Brandon Kyle Goodman has emerged as a vibrant, multifaceted voice for a generation that refuses to separate personal identity from social progress. Rising from his roots in Queens to become a sharp-witted writer and actor, he gained widespread recognition for his role as the voice of Walter in Netflix's Big Mouth and Human Resources. In these roles, he infused animation with a rare blend of hilarity and profound queer vulnerability, turning characters into symbols of resilience. However, Goodman's influence truly exploded during the 2020 social justice movements, where his unfiltered, raw reflections on the intersection of being black and queer went viral. He didn't just speak, he invited millions into a dialogue about exhaustion, hope, and the necessity of self-love. At 37, Goodman continues to balance his roles as an actor and memoirist, proving that storytelling is not just an escape, but a powerful tool for liberation. He represents a new vanguard of artists who lead with their scars, showing that when a marginalized voice decides to speak without apology, it can spark a revolution that echoes far beyond the screen. Kevin Aviance, 57, age now. Kevin Aviance is a living legend, a towering figure of the New York City nightlife scene whose influence has permeated the very fabric of global pop culture. As a cornerstone of the historic House of Aviance and a trailblazer in the ballroom scene of the 1990s, he turned drag, voguing, and performance art into a high-octane spectacle of empowerment. With hits like Alive, which became a poignant anthem of survival following the 9/11 tragedy, he demonstrated an uncanny ability to turn personal pain into a collective roar of joy. His life has been marked by profound tests, including a brutal hate crime in 2006 that left him with severe injuries. However, his decision to return to the stage was a defiant act that cemented his status as a symbol of queer survival. At 57, Aviance's legacy has seen a massive resurgence, most notably through Beyoncé's Renaissance album, which sampled his iconic voice and introduced his artistry to a new generation. He remains a bridge between the underground queer origins of house music and the mainstream, standing today as a fierce reminder that black queer artists have always been the architects of innovation, performing not from the margins but from the center of the cultural stage. Karamo Brown, 45, age now. Karamo Brown is a quintessential modern polymath whose career has been defined by his mission to foster empathy, and emotional intelligence. First making history in 2004 as one of the first openly gay black men on reality television via MTV's The Real World. Philadelphia, Brown used that platform to challenge entrenched prejudices surrounding race and sexuality. However, his influence reached a global scale as the culture expert on the Queer Eye reboot. With a unique blend of vulnerability and wisdom, he transformed the makeover format into a profound journey of internal healing for his guests. Beyond television, Brown has become a vital author and advocate, consistently leveraging his platform to dismantle toxic masculinity and address the intersectional struggles within the Black and LGBTQ+ communities. Now, at 45, he stands as a beacon of transformation, proving that the most effective way to lead is to hold space for others to grow while remaining relentlessly true to your own emotional journey. Jeffrey Bowyer Chapman, 41, age now. Jeffrey Bowyer Chapman is a fearless trailblazer who has successfully carved out space for queer black men in industries that often resist diversity. Beginning his journey as an international model, he transitioned into acting with a breakout performance in the series Unreal, where he portrayed a nuanced, ambitious producer, a role that shattered the one-dimensional tropes usually afforded to queer men of color. His presence as a judge on Canada's Drag Race further solidified his status as a champion of queer artistry. However, his time there also highlighted the toxic reality of intersectional prejudice on social media. Bowyer Chapman did not retreat from the backlash. Instead, he used those challenges to advocate for the necessity of safer, more inclusive spaces for queer people of color. At 41, he remains a steadfast and intentional force in Hollywood, known for his quiet intensity and his refusal to silence his truth. Whether he is on screen or behind a microphone, he reminds us that representation is not just about being present. It is about being respected, understood, and celebrated in one's full complexity. Titus Burgess, 47, age now. Titus Burgess is a powerhouse of talent known for a vocal range and comedic timing that are truly in a league of their own. Rising to prominence on Broadway with unforgettable performances in shows like Guys and Dolls and The Little Mermaid, he later achieved mainstream icon status as Titus Andromedon in the hit Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. His portrayal was a masterclass in blending larger-than-life camp with genuine, relatable human insecurity, making him a fan favorite and a frequent Emmy nominee. Burgess has never been one to shy away from his identity. Rather, he has used his platform to celebrate the joy and resilience of being a queer black artist in a demanding industry. At 47, he continues to evolve as a creative force, spanning acting, singing, and entrepreneurship. He represents the pinnacle of artistic freedom, an actor who refuses to conform to the narrow expectations of Hollywood, choosing instead to define success through the sheer excellence of his craft and the joy he brings to every role he inhabits. Wilson Cruz, 52, age now. Wilson Cruz is a historic figure in the landscape of television, famously recognized as the first actor to play an openly gay teenager in a leading role on a primetime series as Ricky Vasquez in My So-Called Life. His performance was a watershed moment in the 1990s, offering a raw and empathetic look at the struggles of a queer youth searching for belonging in a world that offered little support. That role ignited a lifelong commitment to activism, and Cruz has spent the decades since working tirelessly to amplify LGBTQ+ visibility, both on and off screen. His career has remained consistently impactful with notable roles in 13 Reasons Why and his portrayal of Dr. Hugh Culber in Star Trek Discovery, where he broke further ground by depicting a healthy, long-term queer relationship in a major science fiction franchise. At 52, Cruise is more than an actor, he is a cornerstone of the movement for equality. His career serves as a powerful testament to the necessity of representation, proving that when a performer chooses to bring their whole truth to the screen, they don't just entertain, they change hearts, minds, and the cultural trajectory for the better. Billy Porter, 56, age now. Billy Porter is a transformative force of nature, a performer who has spent decades dismantling the walls of gender, fashion, and expectation. Long before the world caught up to his brilliance, Porter was a fixture of Broadway, commanding the stage with a vocal power and technical mastery that earned him a Tony Award for his legendary turn in Kinky Boots. However, his influence transcended the theater district when he stepped into the role of Pray Tell in Pose, a performance that captured the agony, survival, and fierce joy of the ballroom community during the height of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. By winning the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series, he became the first openly gay black man to do so effectively, changing the landscape of what is possible for queer artists of color. At 56, Porter remains a defiant icon, known as much for his gravity-defying, gender-fluid, red carpet fashion as he is for his relentless advocacy. I is a testament to the idea that you do not have to shrink yourself to fit into a world that wasn't built for you. You simply have to stand tall, claim your space, and let your brilliance demand to be seen. Michael K. Williams, die age 54 in 21. Michael K. Williams was a performer of profound, haunting authenticity, a man whose work was inextricably linked to the truth of his own lived experience. As Omar Little in The Wire, he created perhaps the most complex, unforgettable character in the history of modern television. A gay, stick-up man in the drug trade who operated by a rigid, incorruptible code of ethics. Williams brought a terrifying grace and deep vulnerability to the role, effectively shattering every stereotype about both black men and queer representation on screen. He possessed a rare ability to transform a distinctive physical scar into a badge of survival, using his own history of struggle, poverty, and addiction to imbue his characters with a visceral, heart-wrenching humanity that resonated with millions. When he passed away in 2021, at the age of 54, the industry lost more than just a gifted actor. It lost a compassionate soul who had dedicated his final years to criminal justice reform and mentoring at-risk youth in his native Brooklyn. Williams never sought to be a polished Hollywood product. He sought to be a mirror, reflecting the pains, joys, and complexities of lives often ignored by the mainstream. He stood as a pillar of strength for the LGBTQ+ community, even while navigating his own private battles. His legacy remains an indelible mark on cinema, proving that the most powerful performances are not the ones that require the most makeup, but the ones that require the most courage to be entirely, unflinchingly real. Donnie McClurkin, 66, age now. Donnie McClurkin is a titan of gospel music, renowned for a vocal power that transcends the stage to reach the very core of his listeners' souls. Born in Amityville, New York, he spent decades building a legacy defined by his ability to bridge traditional gospel with contemporary resonance. His breakthrough in the late 1990s with anthems like Stand and We Fall Down catapulted him to international superstardom, earning him multiple Grammy, Stellar, and BET awards. McClurkin did not just record music. He crafted a spiritual dialogue, turning his own experiences with trauma, illness, and faith into a source of healing for millions of people worldwide. As a pastor at the Perfecting Faith Church, he has dedicated his life to ministering to thousands, maintaining a career that remains as vibrant today as it was at its inception. Now, at 66, McClurkin stands as a complex and deeply human figure in the world of faith and entertainment. His personal journey, marked by his public struggles with his past, his survival of leukemia in a near-fatal car accident in 2018, has only served to deepen the gravity of his message. While he has often been at the center of challenging debates regarding faith and identity, he remains a central pillar of the gospel community. His music continues to serve as a beacon of resilience, grace, and hope for audiences everywhere. He remains a testament to the idea that faith is not a linear path, but a journey defined by fractures, perseverance, and the enduring power of song. He continues to perform and preach, cementing his status as a legendary voice who refuses to be defined by his setbacks, but rather by the message of strength he carries forward. These journeys of courage, resilience, and hard-fought visibility force us to confront a haunting, brutal question: is mainstream acceptance truly progress, or have we merely traded overt exclusion for a more subtle, sanitized version of the same old barriers? As we honor these icons who dared to claim their space, we must wonder if the industry has actually evolved to embrace diversity, or if it still rewards those who keep their true selves carefully curated. Their legacy challenges us to look beyond the red carpet and demand a future where authenticity is the standard, not the exception. Share your fiercest opinions in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to American Icon Stories as we continue to uncover the raw, often dangerous truths behind the legends you thought you knew.